Well, good morning, YouTube. I'm going to do a short video this morning on a saw I just picked up that is a vintage McCulloch. This actually is a Mac 110. Was the first saw that McCulloch made in the 10 series, which spanned from the 65, which is when this one was introduced, went on through to the mid-80s when McCulloch actually got out of the professional saw business. This one is in awesome shape. Hasn't been used much at all. Normally when you get these, they're all beat to pieces and there's usually some broken parts on it. But this one, I don't think it's had much use, to be frank. Which is a good thing in that it is not beat up. It's a bad thing on a couple of scores. One is, I'll show you. You look in the gas tank here, and this thing probably hasn't been run or had fresh gas in it since probably 1965. And I'll show you why that's a problem. If you take a look in that fuel tank, you can see that it is basically shellac in there. That gasoline has just made a mess. And it was so bad that even the fuel filter that you can probably see there, perhaps, was stuck right to the bottom of the tank. So what we're going to have to do is we're obviously going to have to take this, take the top off of here. I'm hoping that the inside of the carburetor doesn't look just like the inside of that gas tank, so that could be an issue. But it does have spark. Took the muffler off over here, took the muffler off, looked inside there, it was in good shape, which tells me that it wasn't run much at all. This particular model, as I said, was the first one that they built, and it doesn't have an automatic oiler. The 110 series didn't have an automatic oiler. They, shortly after they introduced this one, introduced the 210, which does have an automatic oiler. So this one is a manual oiler, and it's also got the Bullfrog type McCulloch carburetor. So the air filter, this is the original air filter, and it doesn't look like it's too awfully bad, which tells me that, again, that it didn't have a lot of use. But that's the Bullfrog type carburetor that lays flat in there. And these things, they don't have a choke, they've got a primer right there that you prime it with. And McCulloch used these on quite a few of their saws, and it's really tough to find rebuild kits for them. I've got a couple that I was able to find online, so we're probably going to take that apart and look at it and see if we have to rebuild the carburetor. So, okay, we took that top of that fuel tank off, and you can see what a mess it is in there. And that's the fuel filter. That thing is bad news. I'll take that off and replace it. Got another one of those. Okay, we cleaned up the fuel tank, got all that gunk out of there. We put a new fuel filter in it, and as I suspected, the carburetor, the fuel pump diaphragm was like a brick. It was like hard as cardboard, and so I had to put a new diaphragm and gaskets in the carburetor. We cleaned that all out. New spark plug. And I think we're ready to go. This thing, when I had the carburetor off, the piston in this thing, it looked like it was brand new. Gosh, I bet it hasn't been run much at all, to be frank. So we'll start it up and let you take a listen. All right, I think we'll call that a wrap. This is going to be a nice little saw. Like I said, hardly any use on it at all, and runs like a top right now. So we also cleaned up the starter. The starter mechanism was gummed up, so we cleaned that up as well. But I think we're good to go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and send me any comments you have, any questions. We'll get right back to you. All right, take care.